How's it going, everybody? So, got some new equipment. I hope everything turns out okay. I just didn't like how the quality of my last few videos have been, so I've kind of been a little obsessed. So, I'm here with new equipment and a new band. Okay, a new band for me to review. This definitely is not a new band. So, I really wanted to review the new album by Lacuna Coil, Black Anima. One, because I think it's probably my favorite album of the year, and two, I just recently got into them, like 2-3 months ago. It's one of those, you ever have one of those YouTube accidents, but one of those YouTube accidents that actually like leads you down a good rabbit hole? So because of YouTube, I believe I was watching either a Baby Metal or an Aldius or a Bandmade video on YouTube, and it suggested I found two bands this one night. I found Ginger, who I've already talked about, and I will talk about their newest album next week, I believe, when it comes out. But, and Lacuna Coil's new song, Layers of Time, at that time. And Layers of Time just blew me the fuck away. I've always heard about Lacuna Coil. I know they've been around for a while, and I know the singer. I didn't know they had two singers. I thought the woman was just the only singer, but yeah, no, the dude kicks ass too in his own way. They have different ways of going about delivering the vocals, and it works out. And this album, I'll just fucking say it. I know I'm not gonna probably provide a popular opinion here. I think a lot of people would agree that this album is good, but for me and my tastes, and just, I don't know, this album, Layers of Time, Reckless, Save Me, their songs that released, everything it just feels right. Like, it just feels good. I don't know, so I want to say that I believe that this album is a goddamn masterpiece. In my opinion, just how I like my music, this album came at a great time. I think that was just what I was craving. Ginger has been hitting some good stuff for me. This is a great album. Now, like I said, I've only got into these guys a few months ago. So because of that, I definitely, liked all their albums on Spotify so I could listen to them. And so even though I haven't been listening to them for years, I got a general idea, just a small general idea. I'm not going to be like, I'm an expert now because of Spotify. I'm not going to do that, obviously. But I have listened to all their previous albums prior to this, and their last album to this was probably their hardest album prior to this album. I believe, I think it's fair to say that it was just kind of a lead up to this album. And I believe Christina, the lead singer, one of the lead singers, she even kind of mentioned that in one of the interviews. I just kind of I wanted to do a little bit of research, just a tad bit before I made this video, so I can kind of see their names. And so she even talked about this a bit. And she even apparently she lost some people in her life a couple of years ago. Just vaguely mentioned it. I just kind of saw what happened. I read one little article. I was like, okay. So you can absolutely tell she's in a dark place. I don't know if the other bandmates are also in a dark place, but this album, I feel like it talks about anxieties, depression, but it also brings in that hard-hitting energy to kind of cope with it. And I believe she said something along the lines of she just wants people to lay down in their bed, close their eyes, and go on a journey with them, with this album. I totally get it. It's not like, you're not going to get a chill album. But like I said, this to me is a masterpiece. There's only one other album I can think off the top of my head. No, there's a couple, and they're Japanese bands, but I've said before, if anyone's coming to this, I usually review Japanese metal artists, albums, and stuff like that. So this just reminds me of Dogma by The Gazette, my favorite band, where that is my hands down favorite album of all time. I believe that's a goddamn masterpiece. And just these two albums kind of seem similar. They're different. Dogma is definitely a harder album, absolutely. But both albums, they've kind of switched up their styles a little bit. But like I said, the Lacuna Coil's last album kind of was like hinting to this. But prior to the past two albums with Lacuna Coil, this album, the last one, like, yeah, they made metal. I guess you could kind of say like new metal. Gothic metal, I believe, is the official term, whatever. But it was kind of like more chilled. There wasn't a lot of growling and screaming, which is what the guy does. Andrea, or hold on, I don't want to. Is it Andrea? It is Andrea, but I know they're Italian, so I apologize for my American white guy accent. Is it Andrea or just Andy? Should just call him Andy. But Andrea. That was bad. But, so, yeah, like, he definitely didn't scream and, like, go into the deep voice, like, a lot prior to this album and the last. So now he's going way more into it, and then she just has an amazing, angelic, like, voice that brings really good choruses and a lot of good verses as well. I say this album's a masterpiece because for me it hits what the Dogma album by the Gazette hit for me. I like a heavy sound, but like a dark atmosphere to it. Apparently, this is what I'm learning about myself with this album and Dogma. I like that. If your album's a bit dark but heavy and energetic, you got me. Just like Dogma, there are no ballads on this album. There are no slower songs. Now, what I mean by that is, it seems like all the tunings are pretty low. The double bass drum is always there. They have a good heavy sound throughout, even on their slower songs. Because yes, there are a couple of slower songs. However, they're still pretty goddamn heavy. I like that. I really don't like when hard rock or metal albums are like, here's these awesome badass songs, and then we're going to kind of like chill out for a little bit and just, going to be mainly the lead singer singing. And then, maybe a couple more harder songs, and that's the album. I hate that. This is a great tone throughout the whole album. It's steady, while also at the same time having some songs faster than the others. It's still a heavy, hard-hitting album that keeps its pace. Thank you. Like, it's great. So with that being said, I do have the bonus tracks version, which are 3 bonus tracks, bringing up to 14 tracks in total. So, and like I said, I think this is a masterpiece because I've been trying to think all day prior to making this video. What can I say that's bad about this album? Because for me, I got nothing. And the only thing I can kind of sort of come up with a negative thing was I don't like one of the bonus tracks as much as all the other tracks. That's the most negative thing I can come up with, and that track is track 13, Through the Flames. That song is definitely the slowest song on the album. It's still a little bit heavy, but I don't know, it just got a little too slow for my taste, but it's still not a bad song. I still like it. I still would listen to it again. It's just throughout how heavy-hitting and amazing the rest of the album is, this one, I guess, kind of sort of stood out a little bit more because it was just a tad bit slower. So, like, again, I'm glad I got into Lacuna Coil now. They're not coming to Florida, so I won't be able to see them, and they're Italian, so who knows whenever. Well, they're popular enough, especially with this album, they're going to kick ass, so I really want to see this band live. Yeah, I really want to see them play the songs off this album. I would love to see them play Layers of Time. Probably my favorite song on this album. I mean, that just hooked me in, made me a fan. Like I said, I've heard of Lacuna Coil before. I could have sworn they put a song in a video game. I could have fucking sworn there's a Lacuna Coil song in some video game, and for some reason I thought it was Sleeping Dogs. It's not Sleeping Dogs. Their metal radio station. but it's not them. And am I imagining things? I could have sworn Our Truth, which is the very first Lacuna Coil song I've heard, and I heard it years ago, and I could have sworn I heard it on a video game. And I don't know. I was wrong. It's not Sleeping Dogs. I have the list right in front of me just to look it up, and it's not here. So, yeah, again, I can't really come up with anything bad to say. It's like Dogma. It's just like the only bad thing I can think of, other than that one bonus track. But if you don't have the bonus tracks, you're not gonna even like hear the song. Is just like Dogma with the Gazette. This is, in my opinion, their best album. It stands out the most to me. I'll probably listen to this the most prior to their other ones, more than their other ones. So with that being said, the problem is, I don't think you can go up from here. I think you can only go down. I don't think they can. That's the problem when you make an album that's so amazing, and what I would, maybe other people in the world would consider a masterpiece of work, for us, our individual tastes and everything. You're probably most likely not gonna be able to top that. So, continue making music. I think the best thing they can do is take some time off after this album and tour and enjoy what they created. Like, they should just enjoy putting this amazing album out and just let the fucking metal world absorb it. And if you weren't a Lacuna Coil fan before, and like you don't think they're hard enough, or I don't know, but if you weren't like, god damn, give this album a try. Just give it a try. And at the very least, go listen to Layers of Time. My god, that song is amazing from start to finish. And I did say it's a bit of a darker album. So if you're going through some tough times in life, I would say like listen to what she says. Listen at the very least to the song "Save Me." It's the second to last song on the album. The last music video they made was for that. And this song in particular, the lyrics really stood out to me because I know I can relate to it. I know people in my personal life who could relate to it. Overall, I know a lot of people can relate to this song and to what she says. And I'll just read a little bit of the lyrics because, again, this really stood out to me. And I was just like, damn, this is like dark, but it's also very, very relatable. It's awesome. She's like getting it out there. So, all right, the lyrics from Save Me. So the chorus starts off the song, hard-hitting drums and all that, but it's just her singing. Save me from myself, I can't help it, I'm breaking down. Save me from myself, I could use your faith right now. My skin is crawling and feel this pressure, rushing from the inside out. I am lost right now, my mind is racing, inside I'm cursing, burning in my darkest thoughts again. So I keep asking myself, will I be strong enough to face this mess? So I stand here begging for help. We are the only humans walking through this hell. Again with the chorus. And this verse kind of like, I don't know, this one kind of hits home for me. I feel like the first verse, she kind of talks about anxiety. I feel like that just feels like anxiety. This verse is definitely more about depression. So, alright, here's the second verse of the song. Depressed and hopeless and held in despair. Don't know how to find a way to release myself. I'm going crazy. So close to getting out. Lies beneath. Feels like it used to be. And then, so I keep asking myself. But then, like, towards the end of the song, right before the very last chorus, it slows down. The other bandmates just stop. You hear some background music. And then she doesn't sing. She just talks. She pretty much talks to us. And what she says is, and what remains is the shadow of my past. I look in the mirror and hate what I see. I don't recognize my face anymore and wonder where all my dreams are gone. Feeling lost and empty. I know I can't turn back time, but I just don't want to give up. I can't give up. And then, save me from myself. I could use your faith. I'm breaking down. Yeah. So, damn. Like, I feel bad for her, but wow, she's very good at what she does. And in the interview she gave, the interviewer asked her, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the happiest, where are you right now? And she said, I'm an 8. I'm good, but, you know, have my ups and downs. So, you got a new fan out of me, that's for sure. I want to support you guys any way I can. I bought this album digitally, but I kind of want to buy it again physically. So I can just like this. I like to have like albums that I consider like masterpieces or like just great albums. I like to have the physical copy. And this is one of those I'd like to have a physical copy of. So I think I might actually buy the physical copy. Yeah, I mean, I really can't say much about this album. I cannot recommend it enough. A fucking 10 out of 10 for me. Hands down. But yeah. Alright. I got one more review video coming up. And it's not gonna be as good as this. But back to the Japanese metal bands. So, alright. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good rest of your night. See ya.